Yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Yeah, yes, right.
We'll start the Django today. First thing. So Django is a web framework. So what is the web framework means? A framework which is used to develop web applications or website. So what we are trying to do here by using the Django web framework, which is used to develop web applications or websites. So we have different web applications or frameworks. What is a framework means? Framework is nothing but a built-in code which is already available, and we can use it to do some action. Like consider in your mobile, you have these messages like "I'll call you later," "I'm busy," "can't talk." So you haven't written that. Those are already developed by the mobile developer, and you're using it. So what's happening here? The same way, few things in the framework will be already developed, and you will be taking use of it. That's the reason we call it as a framework. Okay. So framework means what? Which provide a ready-made environment to develop logic in different areas and layers. So framework provides ready-made environment to develop logic in different layers. So that's a framework. So example of this frameworks, what we have in Java, we can use Spring MVC web framework. In .NET, we have MVC web framework. In Python, we have Django web framework. So all these things are there. Okay. So every web application has three types of layers. So you understood that we can develop the same websites or web application using Java and .NET also. And every web application has three types of logics. What's the first thing you can say? Presentation, layer or logic. Second thing, what I can say, data layer. So third thing, what I can say, business layer. So basic three things will be there. Like suppose, what is presentation layer? You have seen the login and registration pages, right? So those comes under the presentation layer. So login and register page. Those are known as presentation layer. What is data layer? maintaining the data within the application which is to be stored in the database. So data layer consists of these particular things like whatever the phone number you have given or the username, password, date of birth, what I have given. So all these things will go to the data layer. Okay. So what data layer consists of?
So user data. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, value stored in the database from the
from the
previous.
application you can say. So data from the application is stored in the data layer. And business layer means what? Which acts as a mediator between the presentation layer, okay, and the data layer you can say. So here, whatever the data you are taking should go from presentation, whatever you are taking in the data layer should go to the database. So to maintain that, we use this business layer. Okay. And what are the types of web framework we have? First is MVC web framework. Second is MVT web framework. Now, what is MVC consist of? MVC means what? Model,
View and
view,
Controller. Yeah.
controller. So in the format of this, model is nothing but the data layer, and view is nothing but the presentation layer, and controller is nothing but the business logic, business layer. Okay. So there is MVC model, which we are not using it. We are using MVT. What is MVT? It's also similar. Model is same,
lead
view is same,
transfer.
but we write template. Its work also same. Like what MVC is doing. M means what you can say data layer, right?
Presentation layer or data layer.
Data layer you can say MVC model means. View means what? Presentation layer. And C means what? Controller means what? The business layer. The same thing goes with this also. Model and we are seeing data layer in the presentation layer, and template is also same as business layer you can see. Okay, business in the sense it will take the data and from the presentation layer give it to the model and store in the database. All these things have been done. Okay, so MVT example will be the Django and MVC example will be the Java and .NET things. So clear till now?
So Django is MVT. It's not MVC, right?
Yes, it's MVT with model, view and template thing. Okay.
In Python only we have only Django web framework, or we have others too, other one too.
The frameworks are for different things, but for the web framework, we have Django. Because if you see companies, any company requires a website to be in the market, right? To start their particular, what you can say, businesses, it requires websites. Okay.
Yeah.
So here a slight change will be there in this explanation because you might get confused with the things. First is model, right? In Python, we have models.py. So what models.py consists of? It consists of the classes which represents the data of the form, or you can say data from the form. That is models.py. Views.py is there, which contains the implemented Python source code. Okay, like logic, you can say Python source logic, sending the values to the database and getting the values as request processing and response generation, you can say. So views.py does the thing, request processing and response generation. And what does template means? It has the HTML, CSS, and JS code. Okay. So remember these three things. These are important now. Like in the models, you have the data. In the views, you have the request processing and response generation. In the templates, we have the particular HTML, CSS, and Java code. Okay. So just you need to change it here. The presentation layer is nothing but the templates, and the business layer is nothing but the views. So MVC, because in the views we are writing the request processing and response generation, right? That's the business layer. And then templates is nothing but the presentation thing. Whatever you want to present, you can present it. Okay? That's the MVT part, you can say. Now, how it works, how that particular MVT works, that we have to see. Every time there will be a architecture, right? Consider I have a client. Client is trying to interact, you can say. So what he is asking for a request. And who will take this request directly? First, it will go to the URLs. Before MVT, the request will go to a file known as urls.py. Why URLs? It's nothing but which particular view, like in that function you have to execute. So that URLs will be there. Okay. Like the URLs is nothing but view 1, view 2, view 3, like. So once the URLs has been taken, these will be sent to a particular views.py. Which file it will be sent? Views.py. So it contains different functions, right? Like def v1, def v2, def v3. So this is views.py. Next, from the views, where the views will get the data, or who is storing the information, that's a template area, you can Okay. Template area means what? It contains text, files, different things, or forms you can say. So is interacting here. Views will interact with the templates, and the same views will also interact with a particular model also. Because whatever the values it retrieves from the form, it should go to the database, right?
Mhm.
So we can see it as model area. What it consists of: model class. This you can see it as models.py, and this you can see it as HTML. Yes. So models.py interacts with the database, right?
Yes.
If you want, you can have a thing known as database. So who is interacting with this database? It's nothing but models.py. Okay. Then the particular user will get a response if he goes like this from URL to the views.py, views.py to the HTML template area, and template area again to the model area. It will again come to the views, then it will go to the model area. That's the response. Understood what I'm trying to say? So here the first thing where the request is going is to the urls.py. You need to understand that urls.py will have that link. So from the urls.py views will take from the data from the form and it will give it to the model class. That's a database thing. Okay. Any doubts in this architecture? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So HTML and the models are the same, right? We are for understanding we are separating, but it's the same only.
We write models.py separately. In that, we write a class which consists of data related to the database table names and the columns.
So
HTML, we
view,
design that. View is the
view.
main logic. View takes the values from the HTML and then gives it to the model or uses to store the data. That's a request and response generation thing.
So here the models is not a data layer. The views are the data layer.
Data is with the models itself,
Okay.
but retrieving them and sending them, the business layer is the what you can say views.py, like request processing and response generation. Okay.
Okay.
Business layer will not have the values, it will take send. Here models will have those values so that it can store in the database.
Okay.
Clear? Any doubts?
Yeah, clear.
Now, before starting the Django, first you need to install this. So what you have to install? You have to install the Django. In Python, there is a flexibility that if you want to install any predefined module, you can directly install using pip. Okay. So first you need to check whether pip is there in your particular site or not, like in your Python or not. So what you have to do, I'll open the CMD. Pip hyphen hyphen version. What's the version I'm getting?
Pip 2.20.1.
Yeah, let me check.
You have pip version. It will be 10 point, I guess, for you, where you didn't upgrade. So what is pip stands for?
No,
Python.
I'm not getting anything. What I need to check? Pip
Pip
just
hyphen version.
hyphen version. Okay.
I'm getting 9.0.1.
Right. So you need to upgrade the thing.
No, I'm not getting anything when I take the pip.
What you are getting now?
Pip
Error?
is not a recognized command itself.
You need to install the pip first, then.
Okay.
What PIPA stand for basically? Yeah, you just said it.
Python package indexes. So what are the package indexes are there? It will be represented by this pip. And if you want to upgrade the pip what you have, you can directly say pip install upgrade pip. Pip install is only used to upgrade the particular pip. Requirements already up to date, so it's there already up to date in my particular system.
So I have to just run this command to upgrade it.
Yes. And Vijayan, I guess I'll send you screenshots how to install the Python again. You uninstall and install it again, because when you install the Python, you'll get the pip. Or you can Google the thing how to install pip in your system. Okay.
Okay.
So Manoj, you have this pip hyphen version in
Yeah,
your system.
already I have those.
What version it's there?
Just now I'm recording the screen. Once I go back, it will be into.
Okay,
So
fine. So next thing, pip install upgrade means it will upgrade the particular thing. Why we need this thing is nothing but to install the Django module. We need a pip. Without pip, we cannot install this. Pip install Django. Requirement already satisfied. Django. Okay. So I already have the Django thing in my system. So once you need to install, you just say pip install Django. And if I say py, which stands for the pip, Django hyphen version. It's going to Anaconda 3 and Python.exe. Yeah. Let's leave this thing. So first, I need to execute or start a project. So Python has a feasibility, like you don't have to create 5 new views.py, models.py, urls.py. What Python already has, like Django hyphen admin, and you can say start project. So where you want to start the project, you need to give the directory, right? So in the G drive, let's go to the G drive once. in the G drive there is nothing, right? So what I'll do in the G drive, Django -admin start project doctor application. So once I've executed, previously we have seen that there is no doctor application folder, but now it got created, right? So how it got created, when I say Django start project, it automatically have this doctor application thing. So doctor application, in this we have different files. So first thing what I can say here, manage.py is there, and in the doctor application again a folder is a doctor application in which settings.py is there, and wsgi py is there, init init.py is there, and urls.py is there. So different things are already used here, like it's got created, okay, and most of them will be empty. Like if you open this init py, what you can see, it's an empty thing, there is nothing. And settings.py will have some information related to this particular thing. So this is settings.py. We have install apps, middleware, templates, database, authentication, language code, static URL. This information is there inside the settings.py. And urls.py is nothing but it has the information related to the URLs. I said first the data comes to the urls.py, right? So it's coming to this particular thing, urls.py. And we have this particular wsgi.py, okay? So it just has the Django settings model doctor application dot settings. The first thing, what is underscore init?
Some main functions.
.py. So it is a Python blank script. Because of this special file name, Django treated this folder as Python package. It's nothing but to treat it as a Python package, we are having this file. Okay, if I delete this file, the Python server cannot run this project because it cannot understand that's a Python package. Okay. So whenever a folder contains this underscore init underscore .py file, then only that folder is treated as Python package. Okay, and it is having included inside 3.3 version onwards. Means before 3.3 version there was no rule like that, but now this is being introduced inside the 3.3 version, you can say. Okay, so what this represents, it represents the Python package, right? Next, we have this settings.py file. So what is settings.py? You can see in this file we have to specify all our project settings, configurations, install applications, database configurations, and everything. So what is it? Settings.py, you can see it's nothing but contains information about all the configuration. All the configuration in the sense database configuration, you can say. Okay, install application configuration, you can say. install application, templates, and database. These three things we require. So whenever you create an application, you will mention in this particular settings.py. Whenever you create a HTML, you will mention where that HTML folder is there. Whenever the database connectivity you are using, which type of database connectivity you are using, that also you will specify in the settings.py itself. It contains all the information you can see. Clear? Are you able to follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 So we have this urls.py file. So what this urls.py file consists of? All the URL patterns. If you have observed, we have seen that a URL pattern, URL consists of these URL patterns. And what the URL patterns is related to, it's nothing but every view or a web page, we have to define a separate URL pattern. And end user can use this URL patterns to access our particular web page. Okay. So here what I can say, for every view we have to define a separate URL pattern. For every view, which is nothing but a web page, we have to define a new URL. Okay. Without the URLs you cannot access the data, you can say. And we have wsgi.py, right? So what is wsgi means? If you want to write any code related to the web server gateway interface, then we can write it inside this. So we can use this file while deploying our application into the online servers. So if you want to deploy your project into an online server, then the related code is written inside the WSGI. But presently we don't have any online server, right? So we won't touch this particular file. And you can see, apart from these files, we have manage.py also. So what this manage.py consists of? This is the most commonly used Python script in the manage.py because it interacts with the Django project, like how to run, deployment, test that particular project, create migrations. Everything is done by manage.py itself. Like you can say, that's the starting point. First you'll execute the manage.py, then manage.py will execute the URLs to the particular views, again views to the model, model to the views will be given to the user. So this everything is done by the manage.py itself. Okay, so whatever is the main thing, that's a manage.py. You will run the manage.py itself directly. Is it clear?
Hmm.
Yeah. Clear.
So whenever you want to execute the project, you have to be there inside that. Like here, manage.py is inside the Docker application, right? So cd space a Docker application is there. I've just started. And how to start that particular thing? Directly I'll say Python space manage.py. You want to run that file. What is it? Manage.py. Python space manage.py space run server. What's happening? You have 17 unapplied migrations. It's just checking the performance system checks, then the migrate to apply them. It's giving some suggestion. The date, the Django version is 3.0.2 using settings, Docker application.settings, and starting development server at this particular URL. And if you want, you have control break to quit the server. So now first thing I'll select it. I'll copy this thing. 127.0.0.1:8000. I'll open a browser. The installed worked successfully. Congratulations. Okay. So this is the admin URL. Why? Because here you can see in the urls.py it says admin site URL it's saying, right? So if you go to the directly thing, or you can say if you install correctly everything, this one will come. The installed worked successfully. Congratulations. The Django part. Okay. So this is the first thing you have to do inside the Django. You need to install the Django part. You need to start a project, and you need to have this particular application. Once you create the application, you'll have it. Doctor application, ASGI settings.py, urls.py, WSGI. And here you can see once you have run, you got the db.sqlite. So you can use SQLite database also if you want to store the data inside the SQLite, or you can use MySQL, or you can use the Oracle part. So any database you can use, that you have to specify in the settings.py file.
So we have to install the databases with that.
Yes, like you have a particular thing known as DB browser for SQLite. Directly, there will be a thing known as DB browser for SQLite. So this is a thing, and if you want to have a file or open a database, you can open the database. Okay. Like I can open a database, whatever the database you want to open. Right. But we didn't create any database yet, right? We didn't create any tables or the things. So there is no tables.
Can you try, how to do with Oracle?
Oracle is not the good way actually. We can use SQLite or the MySQL thing.
Okay.
Because MySQL is an open source, right? Oracle is nothing but it's a paid version, and the open source does not work properly. Sometimes it gives an error. The network adapter could not establish the connection. I faced this with Java and this Python also. So once we'll do, and it has limited connections. If you're trying to click it multiple number of times, it will directly say the listener is not available. So again, you need to stop the server. You need to run it again. So a lot of restrictions are there with the Oracle part actually. Okay. So next thing here, what's a web server is doing? We are saying that we are running the project. Who is running this project? A web server, right? Without the web server, you cannot execute this part. So the web server provides the environment to run our web applications. So this web server is responsible to receive the request and forward the request to the related web framework. And based on the URL pattern, it executes the views. So everything is done by the web server itself. Okay. And here Django framework is responsible to provide the web server. So even Django framework provides a SQLite also. You can see this thing directly. You have this db.sqlite, right? So this thing is provided by the Django itself. And once we started the server, a database related file will be generated in our project. Like you can see this db.sqlite3, which was not present previously, but it got created once I execute. Okay, understood till now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now we'll do one thing. You have to install the pip. The Vijay, you don't have, I guess. So after installing, you
Yeah.
upgrade the version. After upgrading, you say pip install Django. Then say Django admin start project Docker application. Then it will work. Okay.
Okay. I will try. So pip is not default one when I installed. I don't know how it is. I just did what Gopi I shared.
You got the screenshot at the time, and the same way you have installed.
Yeah.
So I guess it didn't came. So just you can say in Google how to install pip in Python. Okay, whatever the version is there, directly you can have. So download pip get -pip.py launch Windows command. Like you can see different websites. How to install pip?
I tried to install it, basically upgrade it. It says you are using pip version 9.0.1. To install 20.1.1, it's asking for different command. You should consider upgrading via the Python -m pip install -- upgrade pip command. So
Yes,
the
it has that, right? Pip install -hyphen upgrade.
yeah, after running this command, there's a different message.
Okay, it behaves differently in different systems, I guess. Do one thing.
Okay.
What version of Python you are using?
3.6.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm using the same thing, Python version 3.6.2 only, right?
Yeah.
Do one thing. How to upgrade in the Python? Just check it out. Upgrade that Python and start this. Everyone should complete this thing. The Django admin start project. If you do this thing, it will be easy. Just send a screenshot.
Okay, I will do that after this call.
These two things like screenshots. If you send these two things, it's done. And then tomorrow we can see an application like normal thing, starting basic part. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Rohit. Yeah, I will also check. You also can share if you have any screenshot or documents. So I'll also check in there.
Sure.
Okay, I will try to install it.
Yeah, okay, Rohit. Yeah, it's good to stop here.
Yes, but first starting point, if you come,
Yeah.
if it's clear, then it will be easy to do the application.
Yeah.